Story following up on a story on the front page of the Sunday Times today with the headline, Zwane is accused #1 in dairy case. We now have on the line the Sunday Times senior investigative reporter, Thanduxolo Jika, and he's joining us via Skype. He's one of the journalists who was bylined in this story. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know without having to give away too many of your sources, can you give us an idea of what you based this story on, because it really has some really extraordinary facts in them?
Well, I mean, we of course have had sight of the indictment. We've read through it. It's mostly from that, and of course numerous sources that we've spoken to, people that are very close to the investigation. Which basically, confirmed what the indictment, was saying, especially about accused #1, Msebenzi Zwane.
Now, the National Prosecuting Authority has categorically denied your report, and they say they're going to be asking you to produce the indictment that you've referred to now. Are you going to be prepared to do so?
Well, that will have to be dealt by of course, our lawyers. We're not surprised, that, the NPA will, deny such. These things have been denied before, and we've proved time and again to be true, most of our stories.
Now, so you're saying that you're sticking to your story. The thing that really caught my eye is that you could actually list the charges: money laundering, assisting others to benefit from unlawful activities, and the acquisition and possession of proceeds of unlawful activities. That's extremely detailed. Are you sticking to your story?
We're definitely sticking to our story.
And have you personally seen that indictment?
As I've mentioned, yes. I've had sight of it, yes.
Have you had any response from the officers of Minister Zwane and indeed all of the other names that you have really stated here in black and white?
No, there hasn't been any responses as yet, and we've seen Msebenzi Zwane has basically, denied any wrongdoing, etc. So there hasn't so far been any responses.
We've been saying that it's come as quite a shock, in as much as we've known about the Vrede project for some time. It has been a bit of a surprise at how quickly the wheels of justice have indeed started turning over the last few weeks. Have you been surprised by that, and what's next?
Look, of course, it shows that there was a lack of political willingness to deal with the Vrede matter, and now that since things have sort of changed around the ruling party, the ANC, there seems to be more movement on these matters, specifically relating to the Guptas. So really, it shows that previously there was just a lack of political will to act against the Guptas. We're expecting more. There's more on the state of capture investigations that the Hawks are working on, that the asset forfeiture unit investigators are working on.
Now, just in closing, you've also stated in this report that news of the finalized indictments, which you've based this report on, which is sitting with the NPA boss, Shaun Abrahams. How are you expecting him to deal with this? What are you expecting to happen over the coming days?
Well, NPA has been saying that they are willing to act, and they are pushing on the cases. So we actually expecting them to move ahead and proceed, because with prosecutions, because some of these cases are apparently ready for prosecutions already.
We're going to leave it there for now. Sunday Times senior investigative journalist Thanduxolo Jika speaking to us about a report that he was involved with writing for the front page of the Sunday Times, in which it says that Mineral Resources Minister Msebenzi Zwane and 3 Gupta brothers are facing charges.